Today we're living longer than ever. The challenge is no longer living longer. The challenge is how to make those years as happy, healthy, and productive as possible. Meet Dot Benson.
I'm Dorothy Benson, and I'm 94 years old. And what you're referring to is quality of life.
And you're also chairman of the board for the Council on Aging.
For the Council on Aging, yes.
And here at the Benson Center?
I'm on the nonprofit board here with friends called Friends of Benson.
Tell us a little bit about your activities on behalf of senior adults.
Well, I got interested in being a senior advocate I was already a senior about 30 years ago, and got associated with the Council on Aging. And that got me started as a real advocate for seniors. And at that time, that was when we decided that we needed to do something about it, because there were so many seniors in Fulton County, but no facilities. There were a few, I guess you might call them senior centers, in basements of churches, and that was about it. And so we went to Fulton County commissioners and told them that, we needed to do something about it. And they agreed that we did need to do something about it, but they didn't know exactly what.
What needs do you identify for seniors today?
Well, the needs are very much the same as they were back then. Although we've improved, we've gotten a lot of things, but the senior population just keeps growing. And so more money is needed each year to put towards meeting these needs so that the quality of life of seniors doesn't deteriorate.
Could you list some of those needs for us?
Oh, sure. I would say the primary need, of course, is transportation. Because without the transportation, you can't get to a lot of the other things. Socialization is real important. Nutrition is real important. Health is real important. And of course, that's the reason we have the Meals on Wheels and these other facilities that supply needs. But if you can't get to them with transportation, they don't do you any good. So we still have the need for transportation. We have the need for food, for nutrition. We have the need for health care. We have the need for home care so people can stay in their homes longer, not have to go to nursing homes. So the same needs are there, and they just keep growing because the population keeps growing.
How are we meeting those needs?
Well, we're not meeting some of them real well. However, I do have to say that the county is trying. They're doing a study right now. They have hired a specialist to come in and look at our transportation, what we have now, and try to come up with a solution as to what we can do.
Today we're at the Benson Multi-Purpose Center, which is named in your honor, the Benson Senior Center. So did you become an advocate for the senior adults as an accidental advocate, or is this something you've had in mind? Have you always been a civic leader?
Well, I've been involved in civic things. I mean, before I got involved in advocacy for seniors, I did the usual thing, the Girl Scout leader, the Sunday school teacher, because I had 3 daughters, and they came up through Scouts, so they were all, I had the Scout leader stuff. Then I taught horseback riding. I taught the Atlanta Pony Club for over 50 years. And as a matter of fact, we had our 50th anniversary here at the Senior Center. And of course, that's for children, but we rent out the Senior Center to other organizations.
Well, here at the Benson Center, there's a wonderful stained glass window that you created. Dorothy Benson created it. So how did you become involved with making stained glass?
Well, that's one of the activities that I do now, and I've been doing it for a little over 35 years now. when we started to build the center, I thought I would like to have something in the center. And so I actually have done 6 panels that are here in the building. 3 of them are now around the swimming pool area, and then there's 3 others in various places. And I've also got a large window that I put in the Alpharetta Senior Center.
Alpharetta Senior Center is where you're teaching.
That's where my
classes.
class is. And we would like to have a class down here at the Benson Center, but we have so many things going on down here, there's not enough room.
Back in 1986, which was quite a while ago now, you started looking into senior centers. How did you get the idea for the type of centers we have here in Atlanta, in Fulton County particularly?
Well, you know, all we had here was those little centers in the basement of churches. So we knew that they had some centers somewhere else they had to have. And so the Council on Aging sent letters all over the United States to find out what other cities, what other states had. And when we heard from Baltimore, we found out that they had what we considered the Cadillac of the multi-purpose centers. And so we wrote Baltimore and asked them about their centers and could we come and see them? And they said, oh yes, do come up and see us. We'd love to have you come. So 40 of us got on a bus and rode to Baltimore, and we had one, it was a Fulton County man go with Michael Hightower, and his aide, Valerie Wilson, and then Diane Williamson from the Council on Aging, and all the rest were seniors or caregivers. And we rode this bus up to Baltimore. And they had one multi-purpose center in the city of Baltimore, and that was the Waxford Center. And it was really a nice center. It was in downtown Baltimore. It took up about a city block. It was a 3-story building, as I recall. And it had a small swimming pool to do exercise in. They had lawyers that helped the seniors, had a cafeteria where they cooked the meals, served lunch each day. And I remember the director's name was Sarah Lee, because we called her Cupcake after Sarah Lee cake. But they also had a center, a multi-purpose center in the county of Baltimore, which its square mileage equal Fulton County, not the same shape, but in about the same number of square miles, which is a good example. And it was a high school that they had renovated. And they had all different activities for seniors in that building, like woodworking, artwork, dancing. And I know the gymnasium, they were having dancing the day that we were there. And also served us their lunch. They had a cafeteria.
Well, the Benson Center, where we are today, is the largest multi-purpose center in the whole United States. And I'll bet we have something that no other center has. And I think you know what I'm referring to. The bocce court. Tell us about bocce.
Well, I will have to tell you about bocce because that's something fairly new to us too. And I guess it's an Italian society, came to us and said, how would you like to have a bocce court? And we said, what's that? And so they explained to us what it was and said, well, we'll build it for you. So they came and built us a court. Well, it really made a big hit because it's a wonderful exercise for seniors. And so they built us the court, taught us how to play, and we got started. And it really took off. And so Sandy Springs said, well, that's wonderful that you have that bocce court, but it needs to be upgraded, and you really need 2. So they gave us a $10,000 grant to build a new bocce court and to upgrade the one we had. And just 2 weeks ago, we had the grand opening.
I know there was a tournament in which you played the mayor. Tell us who won.
Well, it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing for the mayor, not for you.
Well, I know, but they were our guests, and we had some of the staff from the city and the county that came, some commissioners, and of course, Rusty Paul, who is the mayor of Sandy Springs. They were all here, and we challenged them to a game, and I'm afraid we did beat them.
But you have a very active life, and I know that you were widowed young. Your husband passed away at age 45.
That's right.
Have you ever been interested in getting married again?
Not really. I've gotten used to living alone, and I enjoy it, and I keep busy with all these other things. I really have a busy life.
You have an amazing memory, and you're so vital at age 94. Do you have any secrets for longevity and memory?
Well, not really. I think keeping active, and I do use a computer, and I try to keep up with things through email. I'm not that computer wise, but I have some grandchildren that are. And whenever I get in a tight spot, I call them, and they're always willing to come and help me. Thank goodness.
Well, do you have any advice for the next generation then? Because you've lived such a long, full life.
Well, I think the main thing is you have to have a purpose. You have to have something to do. And that's the reason I think senior centers are so important to seniors. It gives them something to look forward to during the day, going to classes. Now we have the heated swimming pool here, which you can do lap swimming or you can do water aerobics. We have dancing, computers. This is Thursday today, and every Thursday we have free movies here, and they're good movies. They're not, just junky movies. They're really good movies.
I've been to some.
So there's many things to do at a senior center. And I think that's the secret, is that you have to have a reason to get up in the morning. If you don't have a reason to get up, why get up? And I think that's the secret. You've got to be interested in something.
Well, with all your activities, how would you like to be remembered?
My goodness. Well, I think really, I would like to be remembered that I help seniors. I really do. I think that's important.
What's involved in putting together a stained glass window?
Well, there's a lot that's involved, and people don't realize how much is involved. First, you have to decide on your pattern. You have to have a pattern that lends itself to stained glass. It just can't be any pattern. Then you have to purchase the glass, and you purchase the different colors that you want to use. And there are two methods of stained glass. It's the copper foil and the lead cane method. And in these windows that I've done here for the center, I've used both methods in putting them together. And then of course you have to be able to cut the glass out to your patterns, and every piece, if you're using the copper foil method, each piece of glass has to be wrapped in copper foil.
And how do you put the pieces together?
Well, if you've done a good job of cutting, they will fit together. And you fit the pieces together, and they're held together while you're working on them with horseshoe nails. And the reason that you use horseshoe nails is because I've had horses, so I understand this. When a blacksmith is putting on a horseshoe and he puts the nail in, he's used to doing this, and so he can feel with his fingers. But a horseshoe nail is flat on one side and it's beveled on the other side. And so when you're using the nails with your glass, you put the beveled side towards the glass, which helps snug it up to the other pieces. And that's the reason you use horseshoe nails instead of just regular round nails.
Do you have to be strong to cut glass?
No, it doesn't take a lot of strength. It takes a steady hand so that you guide it in the right place. And the better that you cut it, the less grinding you have to do to get it to fit. So the faster you work, the better, faster you can put the things together.
So measure twice, cut once.
But after you have done all of this and you have gotten all the pieces together and being held together with the horseshoe nails, then you use your lead solder to solder the pieces together. And the solder sticks to the lead that you have wrapped around the glass. And that's what makes your stained glass. And there's, of course, a technique because you want the seams to look smooth and be nice. And then you frame it in some sort of frame that holds it together. Zinc is usually the hardest thing that you can use to put around the outside to hold it. And then if you want a wood frame, you can do that too. But
so it takes quite a while to put a stained glass.
It's a good process, yeah.